All right. I want to talk about something that I think is well overdue and something that's very important, and want to get this out of the way right now. If you've spent any amount of time in the knife world, forums, comments, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, you've seen it. Somebody will have a knife that looks like a very nice designed knife, and then somebody will say, yeah, it's a great knife, man, but like, what steel is it? And whatever, they'll say, oh, it's, this type of steel, carbon steel or stainless steel. Yeah, man, but I just don't know if I could trust that steel in a survival situation, man. And that irks me so badly. Today, I want to talk about why knife profile, geometry, and handle ergonomics matter far more than steel choice for 99% of the sane, logical people that actually go out and use a knife, and why the obsession with steel is often based on misunderstanding, mostly marketing hype, and frankly, some pretty wild survival fantasies. So this video is not to say that steel doesn't matter at all, because yes, steel does, but it matters way less than people think. And it's often used as a shortcut for knowledge instead of understanding how knives actually work. So I'm just going to grab a knife here, and any knife, okay? It doesn't matter what. A knife does exactly three things, people. Three things. It cuts. It transfers force, and it interfaces with your hand. That is it. Cuts, transfers force, and interfaces with your hand. Every single one of those things is dominated by geometry, not steel. A knife with perfect steel but terrible geometry is still going to be a knife that sucks. This is a knife that's designed with excellent geometry and profile so that it cuts well, transfers force, and interfaces with the hand. I could say the same thing about every one of these knives. Here's my $9 Mora 911 that I bought years and years ago that is still going strong. It interfaces with the hand well, transfers force, and cuts. How the heck did you think that I carved this freaking survival spatula with a knife that couldn't cut, couldn't transfer force, and couldn't interface with my hand appropriately? Steel obsession drives me crazy. And that's why I'd say a knife with average steel and excellent geometry will outperform any super steel, ground out unicorn horns mixed with the ether and forged by Thor himself. Just silly. Yet still gets all the attention. And why? Because it's easy to name, easy to compare, easy to market. Geometry, yeah, that actually takes experience. And actually knowing how to use a knife and actually doing things with a knife to understand geometry. So I want to talk a little bit about blade profile. Blade profile is going to determine where the tip is, how the knife pierces, how it draws through material, and how controllable the edge feels. You can't fix a bad profile with better steel. I'm telling you. If it is a poorly designed knife with a horrendous profile, it does not matter what the steel type is. A far less superior steel in a knife designed with an exceptional profile is going to outperform a poorly designed knife with super steel every single time. Also, I want to talk about edge geometry, and this is the big one. The blade thickness, the grind type, the edge angle. All these types of things. A thin, well-ground blade in basic stainless will outcut a thick, obtuse blade in a super steel any day of the week, all day long. There are some companies out there that pretty much just design knives to look cool, and they market them as such. And then they put them out in some type of a super steel, and voila, you've got a crap load of people that just want to go buy it. Cutting performance, we could go into cutting performance too. If I was to take like this knife, cutting performance is all about how easily the blade separates material, how much resistance it creates, how efficiency force moves from your hand to the edge. Steel doesn't determine that, people. Geometry does. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people who obsess over still can't even identify a good grind at all. And I'm sure many of you have seen that. Oh, this is the best knife ever. I would trust my life on this knife in the field, blah, 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 blah. And you look at it and it's like, yeah, that profile is absolutely horrendous. So is the handle design. That thing is not going to be comfortable in extended or even hard use. But you want to talk about it because it's made from whatever the latest and greatest super still is. It's my Magna Cut blade. Oh, Magna Cut this, Magna Cut that. And again, I'm not saying that those stills are terrible stills and that they shouldn't be considered. I'm just saying those types of stills don't make up for a really crappy, poorly designed knife. So now let's talk about the handle. So there's different styles of handles. This one's kind of like your typical barrel style. And this is where it does get a little bit subjective, in my opinion, because some knives that just have not worked well for me that I've gone and sold, other people rave about those types of knives. And they work well for them. So what may work well for me may not work well for you, and vice versa. What may not work well for you may work well for me. What I can tell you, though, is you have some very experienced knife makers that know how to design a handle with very controllable, very comfortable handle ergonomics so that you have less fatigue, more control, better edge alignment, and safer use. And I think that's what I would say about, these handle designs here. So I've got a selection of knives that I really enjoy using. Some of them are micarta. I'm not a real fan of wood handles. This is probably the closest thing that I have, and it's birch bark. This is a very nice barrel designed or barrel profiled handle in a puco design. Works very well. But you could just go to like your standard grippy Mora handles. I mean, this thing is so comfortable and so controllable. Gives you great edge alignment, and yeah, this one actually is very super safe too. I'm actually not a fan of finger guards. I'd much rather have knives with less of a finger guard or no finger guard at all, because it just offers me better control. Now, that's again very subjective. But yeah, you've got to take handle design into consideration. And for those of you that use knives, you can pretty much look at a knife and say, well, okay, well, how thick is the handle design, how thick is the handle stock? Looking at the shape, seeing if there's any crazy edges or weird geometry that's going to create hot spots or whatever. And yeah, there's just some knives out there that I don't care who you are. I think people fall in love with the design of the knife more than actually using it, because some knives that do look pretty cool, when you actually go out and use them, you find out very quickly that the knife just sucks. Or that the knife profile is very great, similar to a review I did on this one, this little BPS Aurora. This knife profile and the geometry is absolutely excellent, but the handle is just too thin for me. It's kind of like the Falcon even F1 or S1X, A1X, the X series. I just find that the handles are far too thin for me. So I've since rehandled my S1X. I've got an F1X I've still got to rehandle, and then I've got some scales for my A1X I've got to stick on as well. But yeah, you've got to take into consideration the comfort of the handle, because if you have hot spots, sharp edges, poor contouring, none of that is going to be fixed by better still. It just isn't. If a knife hurts to use, it doesn't matter how long it holds an edge, you're just not going to want to use it at all. This is why professionals, chefs, tradespeople, outdoor workers care more about how the knife feels than what the still is made from. And here's an example of knives here. None of these have what I would consider your super stills. You've got some tool stills like 01, you've got 80 CRV2, you've got Mora's, carbon still. I'm not exactly sure what they would call it, Sandvik carbon still maybe. You've got 14 C, what is this? Stainless, oh yeah, 14C28N. You've got AEBL. I think I mentioned O1 tool steel. For me, it doesn't matter, because every one of these are examples of knives that feel great in hand, are super comfortable, they cut well, transfer energy, and interface with my hand in a way that I can use. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Why are people so fixated on still? Well, I think it's marketing. I think still names are easy to sell. They sound technical, they sound impressive. Geometry doesn't necessarily always fit on a spec sheet, nor would people really be able to understand a spec sheet related to geometry and really know what they're looking at. But a still type, yeah, this is made out of CPM 3V, or this is made out of Magna Cut, or this is made out of this, or this is made out of that, okay? Still discussions are simple. This still is good, and this still is bad. And again, kind of goes back to what I said at the beginning of the video. Well, that's a great knife, man, but what steel is it? Oh, it's just your typical O1 carbon, or maybe even something less than a tool steel, say like a 1095. Oh, I'd never trust my life on that steel. Unless you want to die, I wouldn't go with that steel. You'll never be able to maintain that edge when you're fighting your zombies. Okay? I think talking steel gives people a sense of expertise without being experienced. Maybe is a great way to say it too. And I'm not saying that people that talk steel always are inexperienced knife users, but I think that there's a very high percentage of people that just are completely obsessed with still because they want to have something have something to refer to that makes them more experienced in their mind without actually needing to show their experience, or by conceding the point that a nice designed knife with excellent edge, geometry, profile, and handle comfort is far superior to anything you could have in a super still that has a bad design. And I think another reason is survival fantasy logic, and this is where things can get really weird. So let's talk about the most common ones, okay? I think you've got a misconception too. For example, you take a carbon steel, and I've heard this. People will say, oh, that carbon steel is going to rust instantly in the jungle, or if you're in an environment where you're next to salt water, blah, 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 blah. This one gets repeated so constantly, and it's just not how the steel works. Okay, carbon steel is not going to disintegrate overnight. It's not going to rust into dust, and it's not going to become unusable because it got wet. It's just not. Anybody that's used a carbon steel blade knows that. Like, look at the types of steel that they are using in very damp, wet jungle environments that have been being used by people that live in those areas for centuries. They're not your high performance stainlesses. They're just not. They're your simple, easy to forge, easy to manage carbon steels. And with a great patina on the blade, it doesn't matter. Like, a little bit of moisture is not going to hurt your blade. Just maintain it and you're going to be just fine. Like, people have used carbon steels at sea, in jungles, in warfare, in industry for centuries. Rust is also a maintenance issue. It's not a death sentence. I hate to say that, because I do know people that would say, oh, well, I'd never use a carbon steel blade. I got my, it's only stainless for me. Or you've got the other side too. I'd only ever use carbon. I'd never use a stainless blade because carbon this, carbon that. You can blah, 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 blah. And they, go off to tell you all these reasons why you should always go with carbon instead of stainless. It doesn't matter. I don't know how I can drive that message home. You don't need extreme edge retention for survival too. I know a lot of people think that you do, but you don't. No, you need a tool that can be sharpened, that's tough enough to do what you need to, and geometry that cuts efficiently. That's really all you need to worry about. And I'm sorry to burst anybody's bubble, but people get so fixated on the steel type because of edge retention or whatever, or because of what they see out there on YouTube with other content creators dismantling cars or cinder blocks, or, all these things that you would never, ever, ever need to do with a knife. It's not realistic. Again, a knife is used to cut things. not pound through a car. It's used to transfer force from your hand into some material. I have seen so many people online in comments discount some type of a knife that actually is a very nicely designed knife because some content creator destroyed it, said the knife was a POS and would never, they would never bet their life on it. But I would never bet my life on any tool. I'd bet my life on my knowledge and how to use a tool. I'd never take any knife like this and say, I'd bet my life on that knife. Nope. I bet my life on what's living in my cerebral carcass related to what my body needs to survive. And what my body may need to survive could be made more efficiently with a tool, but it has nothing to do with the tool. 99% has nothing to do with the tool. So what actually matters? Let's bring this home. If you want a knife that actually performs, you need to focus on blade geometry that matches your tasks, okay? And what I mean by that? Okay, so you can see here, these knives are Scandi ground knives. What does that tell you? That they are made for carving tasks, working wood. I'm not going to take a butter knife out into the field with me to try to craft things or to cut wood or to process kindling. Could you do it? Yeah, I guess you could. You could also use a bread knife. But why would I use a bread knife? It's the same thing. If I had an artisan loaf of bread, am I going to take a knife like this, and is this going to be the most efficient blade geometry for cutting a piece of artisan bread? No, because of the crust and the way that the bread behaves, you use a bread knife that's serrated, and it cuts very, very good. You also need to focus on a profile that gives control and efficiency. Again, a handle that feels right in your hand and still that fits your maintenance habits, not your ego. And again, I could care less. It doesn't matter. Now, some people are more picky. That's fine. Not a problem. But just keep in mind that steel is the fine-tuning knob. Geometry is the engine. And once you understand that, you stop chasing spec sheets and you start choosing better knives. It's as simple as that. So if this video offended your favorite steel, good. That means we're making progress, hopefully. I see this come up so frequently that I thought it would be important to address what actually matters in a knife and how what actually matters is not as much about the steel as it is about the blade profile and geometry. So anyways, this is AJ with Blackhawk Bushcraft. Please feel free to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support of the channel. Thank you for your comments as well. So yeah, drop a comment. What do you care most about in a knife? What are the types of profiles that work well for you? And if you have a steel preference, why do you have that steel preference? Thank you so much. And until the next video, take care.